On the morning of November 19th, 2023, a peaceful day was suddenly shattered by the appearance of massive dark clouds from the Black Sea. In just a few short hours, the sky turned a gloomy shade of grey, the winds began to blow fiercely, and the first waves crashed against the shores of Istanbul. The coastal residents, accustomed to the cool autumn days, were suddenly confronted with an unprecedented storm. As the rain began to pour down, the storm quickly intensified, transforming from light showers into heavy downpours. The wind gusted relentlessly, toppling trees, tearing down billboards, and ripping roofs off houses. This was the moment when people realized that this storm was not an ordinary downpour, but a disaster looming on the horizon. In Zonguldak, one of the hardest-hit provinces, a massive cargo ship encountered an unprecedented tragedy. A towering wave suddenly struck the ship, lifting it out of the water and tearing it in half like a piece of paper. The sailors on board were swept away by the violent waves, their cries for help drowned out by the howling wind and crashing surf. This horrifying scene sent shockwaves throughout the entire city. The wreckage of the ship drifted ashore, with the surging waves carrying the debris, creating a scene of terrifying destruction. The people on the shore could only watch in despair, unable to believe their eyes as they witnessed the devastation before them. Ships and vehicles were tossed about, swept far out of sight. As the storm continued its path, the city of Karadeniz Eregli was struck by heavy rains and powerful gusts of wind. Streets became flooded, and tall buildings shook under the force of the wind. Pieces of walls and shattered glass fell from the buildings, turning the streets into a battlefield of rubble and debris. Small houses were flattened in the blink of an eye, roofs were torn off, and walls were ripped apart. People fled in panic, desperately trying to find shelter but unable to escape the storm's devastation. The city of Karadeniz Eregli, once a bustling economic hub, was now reduced to nothing more than a heap of ruins. Amid the devastation, rescue teams swiftly sprang into action, braving hazardous conditions to save trapped residents. They rushed into the heart of the storm, undeterred by fierce winds and falling debris, to search for and rescue those still stranded in collapsed homes. The rescue teams faced strong winds, towering waves, and the constant risk of being swept away by floodwaters. In the city of Batman, heavy rains caused widespread flooding, turning streets into rushing rivers. Cars were submerged up to their roofs, and residents were trapped in their homes, unable to leave. Rescue teams had to use small boats and rescue rafts to reach and save those stranded in the floodwaters. The firefighters waded through deep water, sometimes up to their chests, to reach the flooded homes. They faced strong currents and the constant risk of being swept away at any moment. But with courage and determination, They managed to save many families, especially the elderly and children who were unable to escape on their own. When the storm passed, the people were left with only the shattered remnants of their lives. A mother in Zonguldak broke down in tears as she recounted how her home was swept away and she couldn't find her husband and son. Her tears reflected not only the pain of loss, but also the fear of an uncertain future ahead. Heartbreaking stories were unfolding everywhere. A father in Karadeniz irregularly held his young daughter tightly, trying to shield her from the storm. He did everything he could to keep his family safe, but against the power of nature, all he could do was pray for a miracle. As the situation worsened, the governors of the affected provinces issued emergency warnings. In Istanbul, 210 cases of flooding had been reported, and the number was still rising. Schools in the provinces of Bolu, Zonguldak, Bursa, and Sakarya were closed to ensure the safety of students. People were advised not to leave their homes unless absolutely necessary. Rescue teams, police, and the military were working closely together to respond to the emergency. Everyone was working tirelessly to minimize damage and protect the lives of the residents. Residents were advised not to leave their homes unless absolutely necessary. Rescue teams, police, and the military were closely coordinating to address the emergency. Everyone was working tirelessly to minimize damage and protect the lives of the people. These extreme weather events are a clear reminder of the challenges we will face in the future. To better prepare for similar situations, we must unite and take decisive action to build a more sustainable world, resilient in the face of nature's challenges. What happened in Zonguldak, Batman, and the surrounding areas is a clear testament to the importance of preparedness and response to natural disasters. The rescue teams demonstrated professionalism and courage in handling the emergency. However, preparedness must be further improved to minimize damage in the future. We need to invest in flood-resistant infrastructure, early warning systems, and community education programs about natural disasters. These are crucial steps to protect lives and property from the increasingly frequent extreme weather events. Although the storm has passed, the scars it left will remain deeply etched in the hearts of the people. But amidst the hardships, we also witnessed courage, solidarity, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. Communities are beginning to rebuild, brick by brick, tree by tree, as they work to restore what was lost. Let us look toward the future, where every small action contributes to building a more sustainable world, a more resilient community. We will continue to provide the latest updates on the weather situation and recovery efforts. Let us remain steadfast, and hopeful as we work together toward a better future.